Okay, so good morning, everyone. Today, I will critically analyze the limitation and criticisms of microfinances in achieving a gender equality. So, all you know about the microfinance has been widely recognized as a transformative tool for women empowerment by providing the access to credit, saving, and financial services. It brings a woman into a formal ecosystems and especially in the rural India programs like Aspire self-help groups under the SHG bank linkage model. I have made the woman financially active and participants. However, an important economic question arises by this. So, does the financial inclusions automatically lead to a gender equality? So, what this we can say that while the microfinances improve the economic participations, gender equality is a deeper critical and issue is involving in a social norms and the power relations, the property rights, and the decision making authorities also. So let us know and examine the more major limitations and criticisms in the gender equality. The main first limitation is about increased work burden on women. So we can say that the increase in work burden in a woman is like the most discussed criticisms in the double burden phenomenon. Like women have to see all the things like our business, our profits, our house, our family, and all the things. When the woman receives the microfinances loans, they start a small businesses. They engage in a livestock like farmings, tailoring, grocery shops, food processing, and etc. So we can attend the SSG meetings. They manages the repayments and so many of the things are like of the microfinances. So they have a traditional domestic responsibilities also, like cooking, cleaning, childcare, and elder cares also. In this, we can see that the rename unchanged, like the women perform both productive work of income earning also and reproductive work like household responsibilities also. So in this, the leads of the physical executions, mental stress, time poverty, and reduce the leisure and the self-care also. In the many of the cases, the microfinances increase the economic responsibility also without restructuring about the household labors. So in this, we can say that the empowerment becomes the economic expansion without social supports. Like the true gender equality would require shared domestic responsibilities, recognition of unpaid labors, change in partial household norms, and many of the things. So let's just discuss about the second limitations is about the male appropriation of loans. In this, we can see that the serious criticisms is a male control over women loans. If the man is having a more power in her hand in a house, so they can take a charge in the house, so they can just take money of the from the woman by doing some hard activities like beating her and any of the things. Although the loans are to be issued in the women's to like names in many of the households, like husband or male members decide how to use the money. The woman may not control the business decisions. Men may use the funds for the personal consumption and unrelated activities. For this, they create a paradox like women carry the liability, men exercise the financial controls. The man is thinking like that in the today's generation. And in such case, the women become the borrowers on paper and repayment agent in reality. So in this we can say that this reduce empowerment impact and it also create the emotional pressures, domestic conflicts in repayment fails, financially vulnerability. By this, The access to credit does not guarantee control over the capitals. The empowerment requires the decision making authority, financial literacy, and negotiation power within the households. So, women have to take a charge in this, and they do not have to give the money to the men, or they do not have to control the money by the men also. By this, the major problem can be occurred. So because of this, they have to become they have to become a very power minded, and they have to doing having a major skills like decision making authorities, financial literacy, and negotiable power within the households. Let's see about the third major point of our limitations is financial empowerment does not equal to the full gender equality. In this, we can see that the microfinances focus preliminarily on economic empowerment, but the gender equality is a multidimensional. According to the global development, the framework like United Nations Sustainability Development Goals, like there are total five goals, but in this there are like gender equality includes equal rights to property, elimination of discrimination, freedom from violence, political participations, and equal access to the education and healthcare. These major five things always the women get, and to the men also, because it shows the financial empowerment to the both the genders, and it having a right of both the genders to have those things. If a woman earning the income, they may still have a face of domestic violences, lack of interest to rights, be excluded from the major family decisions, and have a limited mobility. So by this, we can say that the income generation does not automatically diametrical partiality, but the financial empowerment is necessary for the conditions, but not for the sufficient conditions. It is for the gender equality. They have their own rights, they have their own point of view, and they have their own things also. By this, we can say that there is a proper gender equality, and by which the woman can take a better decision making and having a better businesswoman also in the future. The fourth limitation we can see that is about the structural and cultural barriers in the remain intact. If the microfinances operate with within the social structures, like it does not automatically change, but it is about the from the history and from the tradition to traditions. First, like the particular traditions, then gender biasness of inherent laws and in the practices, unequal property ownerships, and the culture restriction of mobility. For example, even if a woman is a part of an SHG, she may still need a permission to travel outside the village. Even if she run a business, land ownership may still be in their husband names. Thus, the economic participations occurs within the structural inequality, the gender equality, and require the structural reforms such as the legal awareness, educational accesses, gender discrimination program, institutional reforms, and majorly they have a microfinance alone cannot address these root causes because these things are done by the woman itself only. But some of the things like of the traditions they get just they think to the change of the mindset of the girls, of the woman or the woman. They think that all the things are to be belongs to a man only. So by this, there is a major limitation can occur in this microfinances. And we can see that the other major limitations like debt pressure or indebtedness. In this, the another criticisms is related to our the financial stress. In the some regions, the women borrow from multiple MFIs and they take loans to repay the previous loans, faces high interest burdens, and these criteria become a debt cycle, social mutilations, psychological stress, and it, in the extreme case, contributes toward the recovery practices also. By this, we can say that instead of empowerment, the microfinances may create a financial vulnerability if not properly regulated. Therefore, the responsible lending and the financial literacy are a very crucial part of this. By this only the microfinances can having more empowerment. And the other major limitations is like the collective empowerment may not lead to the individual autonomy, in which we can see that the SSGs promote a collectively solidarity group meeting that improve the confidences, public speaking, social networking. By this, the woman can get towards the into the market and they can just doing a marketing of their products. By this, they can just engage the more timing and more time toward their product, toward their businesses to can work more profit by this. If their product is to be getting into the more market, then there is getting a more profit by this. By the more profit, they can get engaged to their businesses, and by the confidences, public speaking, and social networks, they're just getting more attracted towards their customers, and they're just having a wide channels also. And they can just go to for the wide supply chains. They can reduce their cost. They can having a more raw materials from the cheapest cost, and by this, the woman can get more names also, and they can choose about the more women empowerment. However, by this we can say that the group empowerment does not always translate into the personal autonomy at home. A woman may speak confidently in SHG meeting but remain silent in household decision makings. Thus, the public empowerment does not always ensure a power empowerment. By this, we can see that there is major limitations of the gender equality is to be happen to the women, like traditions of a man control, the financial control by the man's, and after the traditionals, the woman thinking, the man thinking, they just put the limitation towards the woman for doing the businesses or taking their own decisions. So for this, I have to take that decision making powers is to be main crucial, the controlling power, and majorly about to the confidence and the public speaking by which they can get a more priority and getting more empowerment in the today's world. Let's see about to the critical reflections. The microfinance is often about the celebrated as a magic bullet for the woman empowerment, but the academic research suggests that the empowerment is gradual, context specific, influenced by socio-cultural norms, and the microfinance is a powerful enabling mechanism, but not a complete solution. It provides the tools, but the social transformation requires, like education, policy reforms, legal protections, male engagement, and community awarenesses. By this only, they can get a proper critical reflections. So by this, I have to came towards the conclude of my today's topic of the limitation and criticalizations of the gender equality in the microfinances. Towards the conclusion, I want to tell that the microfinance has undefinable contributed towards the economic participations, confidence building, social networking, and financial inclusions. However, its limitation includes the increased work burden, male proportion of loans, debt pressures, the structure inequality remains the unchanged, the financial empowerment not equals to the complete gender equality. Therefore, the microfinance should not be seen as a financial goal or a final goal, but as the first step towards the broader gender justices. The true gender equality requires the economic inclusions, plus social norms, plus legal empowerment, plus cultural transformation. Only then we can move from the access to credit to access to the to the equality. So thank you for the sessions.